Welcome to my Wednesday ramblings. And this week, you'll be pleased to know it's actually being recorded on a Wednesday. This is the fifth and final week of our message series, What Are You Looking For? Throughout this series, we've been taking a look at the story told by the Acts of the Apostles of the early Christian community as they began their journey to form a community after the resurrection, specifically after the coming of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. But however we look at it, the story is being told of a community who were settling into a few fundamental things. They were being faithful to the teaching of the apostles, to the breaking of the bread, to the brotherhood, and to the prayers. And the question we were asking, I've been asking the parish and those who have been listening to my homilies each week, is how do we stack up when we try to say that we're living a Christian life? And it's more than just what evidence do we have that we're being Christ followers. It's what kind of change is happening in our hearts, in our lives, as we're trying to understand what it means to follow Christ today. There's a question in my mind that sits at the back of this whole series, and that's, while we say we know Jesus, do we really know the person of Jesus? Is Jesus an intimate friend of ours? And that's always going to be the challenge when we ask ourselves, are we going to be Christ followers? So this weekend, the reading has us meeting Philip as he begins his missionary journey. He's in Samaria, and while he's there, he is able to convert a great number of people. But there's something missing. They haven't received the indwelling of the Holy Spirit in their lives. And so there's the disciples or the apostles send from Jerusalem, Peter and John, to come and to lay hands on these people, to pray over them that they might receive the Holy Spirit. And the same kind of promise is mentioned in the Gospel of John this weekend, where Jesus is saying to the people, his disciples, that he's going to return to the Father so that he can send the Holy Spirit, the advocate, to be with them. Over these weeks, I've been also speaking about the 3 keys for renewal as proposed by the Divine Renovation Network. And those keys are the primacy of evangelization, the best of leadership, and the power of the Holy Spirit. So whatever else we do, there has to be that prayer for the coming of the Holy Spirit. This weekend, we have the promise of the Holy Spirit. Next weekend, we have the Feast of the Ascension, where the disciples are told to gather and wait for the coming of the Spirit. And then we have Pentecost Sunday, when the Spirit is poured out upon them and profoundly changes the world. So my prayer this week is that we'll be open to receive the gift of the Holy Spirit, that we won't be afraid of what the Spirit might do in our hearts and our lives, but we may really and truly be conscious of how great God's love is, and what that love and what difference that love will make in the world in which we live. Sorry to get a bit tongue-tied there. I was too many things going on in my mind, too many ways of trying to say it. So I hope that you have a chance to slow down, to be open to the Spirit, and to experience and witness God's love in all that you say and do. Have a great week, and look forward to seeing you next time on my Wednesday ramblings.